Good to go.
You're good to go.
Okay, and then I'll just do the intro and then we'll jump into it.
Okay.
All right. Hi, I'm Jordan. Welcome to the Realtor's Journey. This is the show where we take a deeper look into the person behind the realtor to hear how they got here and what they've learned along the way. So today's guest is a leader in the community, a mentor to many, runs the most successful real estate team in Oxford County, is a professional roller skater, and is a co-founder of the fastest growing brokerage in Woodstock. Welcome, Jennifer Gale.
Wow, that intro is awesome. I think I'm blushing.
Well,
Yeah.
that light will pick it up. It's
Yeah.
super bright.
Well, thank
Awesome.
you. That I'm so excited to do this with you. I have
Yeah.
very high accolades for you too. So maybe I can gush about you soon.
Maybe we'll reverse the roles on the
Yeah.
next podcast. No, that's awesome. Thanks for doing it. You're the second one to jump on board here. I know not everybody's like comfortable doing this stuff, so it means a lot. So appreciate that.
I'll be the icebreaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll dive into it. I'm going to read from my sheet because I'm still pretty new at this. I'm not a professional interviewer or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just kind of free flowing, really. So don't worry,
Okay.
it's not too much pressure.
No pressure. I'm gonna drink my Diet Coke and we'll go through it.
Sounds good. All right. So I've gotten to know you since we've been working together
Yeah.
for the last year and a half. But for those people that don't know you, how would you describe yourself as a realtor, and what do you like to do on your free time?
Oh, okay. I don't know why that question feels so hard. I feel like my free time now is all building business. So, just having this conversation with somebody today who's also an entrepreneur, and like people are like, "You work so much." I'm like, I actually love it though. Like I love building.
Yeah.
So a lot of my free time is spent, reading and developing leadership now. So I've evolved from, just being who I was as a realtor to now this new path. And as a realtor, I was hungry, tenacious. My path changed throughout. I really cared about people. I love being with people and I love relationships. Like I'm really good at one-on-one stuff. So realtorism
Yeah.
was easy for me.
Yeah. So it sounds like you don't really have any free time. You're either building or sharpening your skills. So
Yeah. I'm at a different point in my life though. My kids are grown now. So, I've evolved. I've dropped some bad habits along the way. And I've actually found a true purpose in life. So like morning till night, I'm thinking about this.
yeah, it's hard to turn it off when it kind of requires like a 24/7 approach, I think, like just to be in this type of business. So
I think so. Yeah. And even selling real estate, right? Like one of the things that people don't know about realtors is although there's, you could show houses in the morning and maybe not again at night, or there's different lulls in the day, you're thinking about real estate all day long. Like you're actually working because the mind's working.
yeah, absolutely. They say thinking about work is more stressful than working. So I feel like
Yeah.
it can get pretty stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we just we learn to live with the ups and the downs and all that sort of stuff.
We're built for it.
Yeah, it takes a certain kind of person to do it, that's for sure. So I'd like to start a tradition on this show, and it's
Okay.
just how we kind of get to know you a little bit better as well.
Sure.
So I want to look at your playlist of your songs. Is it on Spotify or Apple Music,
Ooh.
or we're gonna hit random, like shuffle 3 times and see what songs come up.
Oh my gosh. So that's not fair because I'm old and I'm on YouTube Music, and then we do YouTube Music through the office.
So it's not really yours.
So let's say my gym playlist.
Okay.
I am 1990s, 2000s hip hop. So I like to get some aggression out. I like to get into gangster mode.
Yeah.
Home in the daytime cleaning, I'm soul, Al Green. I love Tina Turner. I love CCR. And then I'm like a cheesy girl. Me and my husband, I make him listen to John Legend and all the sappy R&B songs. So
Yeah.
I think I'm like I'm a basic B.
Yeah, you got a different playlist for different moods.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. Mine's like a total mix too. Like just, I don't know what's going to come on when I hit it. It could be like heavy metal, it could be rap, punk. A lot of punk on there from
You
my skater days. Yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine you doing punk music. That's really something. So what's punk?
Blink 182 is my favorite band.
Okay.
Rise Against, Billy Talent. That was the first
Okay.
people I saw in concert. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I'm old. My first concert was Duran Duran. For anybody that doesn't know, that's 1980s super cool.
yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good one to start out. Nice. All right, so yeah, we didn't get to dive right in, but that's a pretty good snapshot of it. Okay, so how long have you been a realtor, and what area do you work in?
So I'm on my 20th year of real estate, and I am predominantly Oxford County.
Yeah.
So here and far-reaching, and
Did you grow up in Oxford County then?
no, I grew up in a little town outside of Windsor called LaSalle,
Okay.
and at the time the population there was 8,000 people. Today it's bigger than Woodstock, which is incredible.
Oh wow.
And then I moved to Kitchener Waterloo, and from there I lived in Toronto, and then I moved to Woodstock. So that's the way my path
Yeah.
unfolded.
Nice. Everybody seems to find their way to Woodstock at some point in their life.
It's a weird place to land. I always thought when came here, I was younger and my daughter was first born, and I just from the GTA, and I was a city girl. I'm like, how did I land here?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
It's kind of a small place on the map to just pinpoint it and drop in. So,
yeah.
yeah. What appealed to you at what appealed to you about Woodstock at that time?
I was just doing my real estate courses at that time, and I had plans. I was going to work for a builder in Toronto. That was my massive plan at that time. And my ex and I had been in the entertainment industry, like working in the nightclubs. I did promotions for nightclubs. I lived a pretty like wild life before then. I owned a condo downtown Toronto, and I sold it, and I don't know how we landed. There was a bar for sale in Intercap.
Okay.
So the bar was for sale, and I think it cost like $150,000 at that time. And my condo like was double that, and I couldn't believe what you could buy properties for out here. So we thought, man, we're cool in the city. We're going to be way cooler in this small town. We weren't, but it
Yeah.
landed us here, and it kickstarted my real estate.
Yeah. I feel like Woodstock, like I grew up here, and I feel like just from other people that I've talked to, it can be very clicky. Like if you're trying to get in, like from like everything starts out with like, oh, what high school did you go
Oh
to?
my
And
gosh.
it's like if you didn't go to high school here, then people are just like, oh, okay.
It was such a struggle. Like for like when we opened that bar, I like air young, the egoism of being a young kid coming from that, and people in that hamlet like they hated us. But then it went on, and I had my baby, and so I was like going into mom groups, and it was very clicky. And I'm so grateful for real estate, because real estate allowed me to make all the friends that I made in the community, because I was meeting everybody that came in from out of town. So I
Mhm.
grew this network of people, but I don't know what I would do without that.
Yeah, it's good to have it now. Um, so I think like, yeah, I don't know. I was going to say something else here, but
You can
it
say
flew
whatever
out of
you
my
want
mind.
to me.
I had a question like from something you were saying earlier, and then it slipped my mind. It's coming back now. So like you said, you sold your condo in Toronto. Did you sell it yourself or?
No, I wasn't licensed yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was the reason I got into real estate, was how I bought my condo. Um, my realtor at that time, she like showed up and her hair was wet and she had the smoke dangling out of her mouth. And like I bought this condo, and I thought, yeah, and if she can do that, I can do this. So that's how I got started. And yeah, I had the experience of selling the condo at the time. I think I only made like $20,000. But at that time, it was like, wow, I did so great. Wow. And
Yeah.
today's measures, people would not be happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's all relative,
Yeah.
right? 20,000 then versus now. But yeah, no, that's kind of cool though. So you got a little taste of it and you're like, this is easy. I can
Yeah.
do this. Honestly, when I was going through the courses and like just looking into like people I saw doing real estate, I'm like, God, if they could do it, I could do it. I kind of had that same sort of motivation. So that kind of got me through the courses because,
That actually helped motivate me through the courses too. I'm like, if that person can pass, I can pass.
yeah, yeah. It's not easy. Like studying is not my thing. I was never good in school. So
Yeah,
like it didn't come easy or naturally to me. I was always skipping school. I wasn't a straight A student. So
we're the same.
yeah. We got through it though. And I
Yeah,
think like now landing here and not
yeah,
being like that more student, more so of like probably like a trailblazer or something,
yeah,
and just learning how to do things on your own, like it serves you really well in this
yeah.
industry. So yeah, I think just get through the courses and then
I always say the entry level for real estate is really, the bar is really low. Standing out in real estate is really hard,
yeah, that's
right?
very true.
So that's where you kind of have to measure. Like, you can, everybody can kind of get in.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do after?
She has all these sayings. I don't even know what you'd call them. Sayings, I guess. But like, you always have a saying for like every situation, and you have like a new one every day, which I love it. And those resonate. It's kind of like stories sell. I guess sayings
Yeah.
sell too, but it's so cool. So I think I'm gonna put like a little counter on the video, like when it's all done, of like, ding, ding, ding. Like we get up to 6 sayings now or something. We'll see how it goes. No pressure. But yeah.
We'll see what comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, so we covered a couple there. Before getting into real estate, did you have like a favorite job or least favorite job that you had like growing up?
No, you know what? I was pretty much always self-employed, right? Like when I was doing nightclub promotions and stuff, that was self-employed, um, and I say that today because I think I'm unemployable. Right?
Yeah.
So what did I do before? When I was a kid, I delivered penny savers. Like starting out, I was terrible at that. I threw my papers in the ditch. Like I just wasn't made for any of that, and did the Tim Hortons run. And then right from there, I went into like kind of that bar scene, which was good for me as a young girl who wanted to live that life. So
Yeah,
yeah,
really teaches you how to talk to people and stuff like that.
yeah, and you know what? I loved that life. I think the life is meant for the young, right? Like I had the opportunity to be young and single in the city, and I ate up every opportunity that there was.
Yeah, funny, like we have some similarities that way. I
Yeah.
started out as a paperboy as well. That was my first job.
Did you throw yours in the ditch?
No, I was better that way,
I got in a
but I
lot
was
of trouble for
horrible.
that.
Yeah, I bet. I was horrible for well, there's this one lady. Her name was Mrs. Peach. I'll never forget her. She lived in my
Yeah.
complex. She was on the very front unit of the complex, and she would call my house. She had my landline number. If I didn't have her paper delivered by like 8 a.m. or whatever, like she would call my house and her little shaky voice, "This is Mrs. Peach. I haven't got my paper today." So I've always kind of been a procrastinator, I guess, which isn't good. I'm working on it still.
Was that still at the time? Maybe you're too young, but we used to have the paper boy come to the door and we had to give the paper boy a tip. Was that still a thing when you were delivering
Yeah,
papers? Like a little
I had a card.
clipboard?
So I'd have your name on the card
Yeah.
and then a hole puncher, and I
Yes.
would punch it every time you paid me. And then I would have to pay the paper company. So there was time, and that was
Oh
another thing
my
I was bad
gosh,
at.
this is so nostalgic for me. I forgot completely about
Oh yeah, I
this.
had my bag
I
with
can
the
see you
reflector.
doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was good. I think I lost money in it because I was really bad at collecting money from people. Like if people didn't pay on time, I just would avoid it. I remember one house, not Miss Peach, but a different one, and they got up to like $60 that they owed me. This is probably like 3 months worth, and they would always be dodging me. Eventually, I got my uncle to come with me and help me collect, and they're like, "Oh, we've never seen him before." I'm like, "Bullshit." But no, it was a good experience, I guess. So yeah, I did that. That was my
Yeah.
first job too.
Look at, we do have those similarities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the bar scene, you were promoting, I was the other side of it. I was a customer, and I feel like that really helped me.
I was also a customer.
Like going through college, like, it's
Yeah.
college, right? So you do college things, and me and my buddies would go to the bar and dealing with all the rejection of talking to like all the girls or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's built up my thick skin for getting into sales. So that, among other things,
Yeah,
but yeah.
that is true. If you were like, not a lot of guys have that bravery to go and ask the girls. So
Yeah.
if you were that guy, then for sure that would like help with the art of rejection.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely helped mold it for me a little
Woohoo.
bit. But yeah, that's cool. I think the more layers we peel off when we have these chats, like the more we realize we have so much in common, I think.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. um, all right, so we covered that one. You'll notice this. I'm just kind of going
Yeah.
through and we're going to just cover a bunch of things
Do
anyways.
what you want.
Yeah. So talking about getting into real estate, like what advice would you give somebody that is considering getting into real estate or they just started in real estate? I know you have a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I think that probably I'd say burn the boats. I think that in anything that we're building, to not plan B is like a plan to fail. I think you're betting against yourself. And I think that a lot of magic will happen when your back's against the wall. I do, but that was my experience. I think that we come in and we've talked about it. You feel like I have to have the perfect website. I need to have the perfect car, and I've told you that I started real estate without a car.
Yeah.
Like, so that wasn't my experience. So what has proved to be successful for me time and time again is a little bit of pressure, right? And so as I elevated my business, I bring new pressure. It's like I'm the creator of my own burden almost, but it does me well. And so
Yeah.
burn the boats and go all in. And mentorship's everything. Mentorship's been everything for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge, I think. Um, you've been a mentor of mine recently.
Oh, that's
Like,
really
no, you have. Like, and I wish I would have started sooner. Like, we've been working together now for a year and a half.
yeah.
And, I was always coming out to the meetings or whatever,
Yeah.
trainings and stuff, but just having that like one-on-one sit down
Yeah.
to have somebody look at like what's going on from an outside perspective and can kind
Yeah.
of tell you where your shortfalls are is such a huge thing when you're starting out
It's
or at
not
any point.
necessarily even the shortfalls, but for me, it was somebody seeing the good things about me because, it was so hard, like being like isolated in my head and being hard on myself, that to have somebody say like, no, you're really good with people, like, because you can't see that in yourself, but to have somebody else see it in you
Yeah.
gives you the courage to go out into the world. Yeah, everything in my life has been because that somebody else taken a bet on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And it trickles down. Like you don't even know the ripple effect that, and they probably don't even know. But
Yeah.
like now you are that stone that's being tossed into the pond and having all these ripple effects to everybody else around you.
Yeah.
And like even in me, I'm rippling down to people that I chat with as well.
Yeah.
And just kind of relaying the stuff that you've learned and have passed on to us. So it's really cool to just like share that.
And it ripples into like not only when we can be a positive impact on each other in a business way, but if you're feeling good that way, it goes down into your family, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it comes home to how I'm going to be with my kids and my husband. And so that ripple effect, and then in turn, right? Like it's skipping a stone and it just goes like,
Yeah.
good just creates more good.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It just puts you in a better place to maybe see those opportunities that are
Yeah.
going to come into your life. So, yeah, no, it's awesome.
It
And
is. It is awesome. My
yeah,
mentor is actually coming in here to visit me after
today
today.
we'll have to
Yeah.
get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, another time. This
Yeah.
is your day.
Yeah.
All right. So, being a realtor can be very rewarding. It can
Mhm.
also be very challenging.
Yep.
You've been doing it long enough where I'm sure you've had a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
What were some of those high times that you've had where you've been able to celebrate, and what were also some of the low times that you've made it through, and how did you get through those low times?
Um, there's been like going through some different markets and stuff like that, and wondering what was going to happen and letting the market dictate what was happening in my business. So I had a great mentor at that time. It was through 2008, and he told me like great realtors look for markets like these. And I think I've shared that with you. And just having, that's where you build the grit. That's where the hard thing is. as a realtor, not understanding CRA and tax implications. So getting into trouble with that,
Oh
like
yeah.
it was very eye opening. And although when I was brand new, the coach like said, "Oh, you got to put your money away for CRA." Well, I'm like 27. I've never had money before, so I'm like, oh. So that was a mountain to get out of and a lesson to learn. So I like really encourage people, it's not a sexy, fun talk to have, but it's a real one that you need to address.
Mm-hmm.
Um, going through one of the harder parts of my journey was having a long-term relationship with a builder, and I lost that builder. And that felt to me very publicly humiliating. And like I felt, in real estate, it feels like we're in a bubble and everybody's watching us, which isn't true. That's our
No.
ego.
Yeah.
But that's overcoming that. And the high points, honestly, have been of late, that transition to now, you know, being able to share my experience with you or anybody that comes and watching it be successful for them. It's just like the joy of my life.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that my life would be better than it is now.
Yeah. And
Still with problems, like I still, the pressure is still there.
yeah. Well, I mean, bigger problems come bigger results. Like,
New levels, new devils.
exactly. Yeah. There you go. Number two. But I think it was Alex Hermosi. I was listening to him say something. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
No, but I'll listen.
yeah. So he's a big business guy, big
Mhm.
podcast guy too. And yeah, basically he was talking, like, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something about like the tougher your challenges get, like it's going to keep happening.
Yeah.
And as the leader, like you're going to
Yeah.
be the only one that can deal with that.
Yeah.
And the fire never gets put out. It only changes shape.
Yeah.
And but you are more skilled
Yeah.
and seasoned to be able to deal with all that. So you figure it out.
And you learn to, like, the new pressure that you have, you learn to adapt to it. So if you have new problems and we're not recycling the same old problems, that means we're not growing, right? We're just doing patterns. But as you elevate, you do have those new levels and you kind of look at it like the opportunity. And as they get a little harder to solve, that means you're elevating. Life is growth, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's good now. Like, not every day feels good when you have problems.
Yeah.
But
it can be very exhausting.
Yeah.
Because like, from my experience, you feel like you have to constantly be learning new things. Like you're never just in a groove where you're just crushing it, because there's always new challenges and new problems, and just having to try and figure it out on the go all the time is very challenging, I think, and exhausting. Kind of ties into my next question, I guess. So like, because of the nature of that in real estate, in the first year, I think it's like 87% of realtors fail in the first year, 75% fail in the first 5 years.
Yep.
And it's probably because of having to learn and navigate all those new challenges.
I think it's unrealistic expectations too. Like, how many times, oh, I'm going to be like, as a realtor, all of a sudden you're a realtor and you probably have 50 people that reach out to you and be like, I was thinking of being a realtor. And you're like, oh, I don't know, this is meant for, like, it looks all glamorous on the outside, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh, I love houses and I have the gift of gab. So I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like, I always preach it, like real estate isn't all the unsexy parts. It's the studying of the market. It's like all that stuff that nobody's, like, you're not taking videos of looking at realtor.ca. Check me out today.
Yeah, exactly. So like, going through that, all those peaks and valleys for 20 years or however long it's been, like, what gets you through all that and what keeps you going? What's your motivation?
I think that I just have that natural born. Like, I come from a family that, I guess it would be competitive. My dad was like a competitive athlete. So it was every day, you don't miss days. Like, if you miss days, you're irrelevant in that business where they came from. So I have a really good work ethic. And I've always had, we did that training yesterday. You want motivation? Look at your bank account and your kids.
It's so good.
Yeah, like that was gold.
Yeah.
Right there. I'm going to say that in our next brokerage meeting. Like, you can't get more motivation than that.
Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
don't have a kid yet, get a kid so you can get motivated.
Yeah, and if you need motivation, look at your checking account, and is that where you want it to be? Maybe it's awesome for you, but like through the years of building a business, and it's up, it's down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What would you say is one of the toughest things or aspects of being a realtor that the general public doesn't really know about?
I think it's the emotional intelligence that you need to adapt. Like we talk about all those wins, or you see commercials of first time home buyers and all that like exciting, great stuff. But on the flip side, like today, we're in a tough market. People are losing their homes, they're upside down. You're going into places where if people are having money problems, it impacts their personal life. And it's really hard to walk into that and have the emotional intelligence to come in and be of help to those people and not like become that, because you can become very enveloped in that.
Hmm.
And if you're not emotionally mature enough to handle that, that would be something that you have to be built for this. You have to have emotional intelligence and emotional maturity.
I would think that that's something that some people are born with more so than others, but it could also be trained.
Yeah, it's a skill you can develop, you
How would
know.
you say you could develop that skill then?
I think leaders are readers. There's a ton of books out there. Like today, we're in like an information society. I don't wake up every day motivated or knowing stuff. I literally listen to stuff every day to learn those skills, to start sharpening it, and just more situations.
Yeah.
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 Doesn't
You need,
happen overnight. I'd say newer agents should have like some mentorship along with it, because if you put somebody that's 25 walking into somebody my age's home, and I'm going through a divorce and going bankrupt, that's a pretty heavy situation to walk into. How do you handle that? How are you going to be helpful?
yeah, absolutely. And just that can play against them sometime, being, pretty new and young and looking that way, because then
Yeah.
right away they have an opinion or a
Mhm.
judgment on you, I
Mhm.
guess. So yeah, it is something that you do have to gain through experience, but being able to lean on experience of mentors is
Yeah.
definitely the way to go, I think,
And
with that.
getting yourself in the right environment of people that want to help you and that you can feel you can trust, and like maybe you go on the appointment with them, or you talk it through, or you have those conversations before you go into an appointment,
Hmm.
right? Like, what am I going to come up against? What if?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's practice. I mean, you got to get skilled though.
Yeah. And be prepared.
Yeah, not everything's like the shiny pot of gold. Like that, those are great, and they do like make it very fulfilling. But
Yeah,
there's a lot of in between that's not.
for sure. And I think even if you have that emotional intelligence, like you have to learn the art of the dance, I guess,
Yeah,
and knowing like when to say certain things is very
yeah,
important, and just being able to like read the room, which ties in with that.
yeah.
Like I think that's a huge point that
Get very comfortable being uncomfortable.
yeah. Yeah, you're growing when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, you got to. Maybe that's my thing for new agents. Get very comfortable being uncomfortable, and if that statement makes you feel uncomfortable, good.
Yeah.
Sit with it.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we covered like three or four in there. Okay, so you've worked as both a solo agent and
Yeah.
on a team and leader of a team.
Yeah.
Um, so could you give some pros and cons to both sides of that, like being a solo agent and on a team?
Yeah, the solo agent. Um, Now that I've had a team for a long time now, so I really love that team atmosphere. But as the solo agent, I really loved building out my identity into who I was. I liked branding. I liked I liked success. I was chasing transactions as a solo agent, and that was very important. And I think that's one of the progressions into becoming the team leader,
Yeah.
right? You do go through that level, and you have to. And I liked business building that way. And then um, the biggest jump for me was going from a solo agent to actually hiring an admin, because I was like, oh my God, what if I can't pay her? What if this all falls apart? And I had coaches after coaches like, you got to do this, you got to do this. And when I finally did, then that was the next jump. And running a team was absolutely mind-boggling and very humbling, because I thought, oh, I'm going to work less and make more money, and the opposite was very true. I bled money. I like made all the mistakes. I was held hostage by those decisions, but I evolved.
Mm-hmm.
I evolved, and I was able to grow out of that space. And now the team is like a marketing machine, but that took like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. People look at it and be like, oh, yeah, I'll just make a team.
yeah.
But yeah, you definitely got to get in the trenches there and build it up.
Yep. My mentor is here who taught me how to build a team.
Oh, hey.
We're just in a little podcast.
We're near the end. Okay, so we're almost done, but I just want to know, like, you've been doing it a long time. You've probably come into some bizarre situations. What's like kind of the most weird, funny situation that you've come across?
Oh my God. What would be the funniest thing that I've come across? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I think it would be more just the things that I've done.
Well, we can pivot to that. It's funny. This same question stumped Drew as well.
Yeah, like, each situation is so different, but I can tell you like times where I've fallen down a flight of stairs in front of clients, like my heel gets cut and I'm laying at the bottom of the stairs. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one.
Well, I guess that's kind of a good way. Maybe I'll switch it up to something like that, like for the next one. I had one just this past winter where we had to enter the house. It was a walkout basement, so we had to enter through the back.
Yeah.
And that's where the lockbox was. And we had to get up through the house, and there was a hatch like at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
So we get into the main level, or the upper level, and there was no way to open the hatch from that top level.
Yeah.
So the only way to get our shoes, which was still in the basement, was I had to run through the snow
in
my socks, like down through the backyard and everything, and get it that way. So it doesn't. I'm like, this is so stupid and embarrassing. Luckily, it was with like a good client, so
or when the cat escapes and you're trying to chase a cat through a neighborhood. I'm terrified of cats too, so that's terrible for me.
Oh yeah, I haven't had that one yet, thankfully.
It will happen now.
Yeah.
Law of attraction.
I've got a couple of fat cats at home, so I can wrangle them pretty good. I think.
Of cats.
Why? They're so cuddly.
No, they're not. They have scratchy little tongues, and they're too independent. They can change their mind on you.
Yeah,
Dangerous.
Some of them. Yeah, that's true. Some of them are pretty temperamental.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that I missed that you felt was like important to cover? Anything else of value that you wanted to add in?
Well, I'm going to do a little gushing of you on the end of this, just in our journey that we've been and just doing like our one-on-ones where we're kind of teaching each other and like the future of real estate, right? Like you are the future of real estate, and just coming and doing these things and evolving and asking those questions. I did that post. If you don't know you now, you certainly will. Like I just see your trajectory going so high, and I'm so excited to be a partner with you on this. And I'm really proud of you, kid.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I know it's sincere. You were always like that from the start, and I was just like, oh, she's just being nice, But like, you just kept with it, and yeah, I really feel it now too. So
good.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Because I really do mean that.
Yeah. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
All this stuff around here is happening because of decisions that you decided to make in starting this Gale Group brokerage. So that's awesome. I love what you're doing here with the office, and it's growing so quickly and fast, and it's just attracting in awesome people.
Yeah.
And we've grown. We've got a podcast studio coming soon.
Yeah, we
Thanks
do.
to Jen. So the next one, it'll be a little more professional, maybe.
We're just so out. Awesome.
Yeah.
We're just getting started together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't want to stab you with
That's okay. That would be one of those weird things.
Yeah. So burn the boats.
Burn the boat.
Get a mentor. Stay disciplined.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. I'm going to add that one in because you just tell me to do that all the time.
Simple solves the complex.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. I hope anybody out there got some little golden nuggets out of this. That's why we're doing this, and just to kind of get to know you better as a person. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I'm blushing still.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, that's it.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you. Hopefully it was recording.
Hi.
How are you, honey?
I was
tried
just
to
talking.
stop